Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss a chapter from Strategic Management. The chapter name is Strategic Analysis and Choice. Firstly, we can start with strategy. What is strategy? Strategy is a term derived from military, which means the process of planning the movement of troops so as to outplay the enemy in battlefield. When to fight and when not to fight, and to manage the relationship with the civil administration, politicians, etc. Business is also like a war, and it is more correct in liberalization and globalization era. So, strategy in business is a particular kind of policy which had been formulated by top management for the purpose of accomplishing its goal. It is concerned with the direction in which human and material resources will be applied in order to achieve the desired objectives. Strategy is a kind of management activity which tells about what an organization intends to do, and it includes the pattern of an organization's responses to its environment over time. It involves deciding the basic goals and objectives of the organization, the major programs of action to reach these goals and objectives, and major patterns of resource allocation to relate the organization to its environment. So, we can say that a strategy will define the nature of relationship between a firm and its environment. There are 5 key decisions which may be said to comprise the overall strategy of any company. First one, the strategy is related with the customer, and secondly, strategy relating to product, then strategy relating to market segments, strategy relating to competition, strategy relating to objectives of the organization. These are the 5 key decisions. Strategic decisions differ from operating decisions. Operating decisions are related with the day-to-day operation or current operation of a business. And next, what is strategic management? Strategic management is the formulation and implementation of the major goals and initiatives taken by an organization's top management on behalf of owners based on consideration of resources and assessment of the internal and external environment in which the organization operates. So, strategic management is the process by which an organization formulates objectives and manages to achieve them. Strategy is the means to an organizational end. It is the way to achieve organizational objective. That is, strategy is the means to an organizational end. It is the way to achieve organizational objectives. So we can say that a strategic management helps in designing an organization effective strategic network to achieve the goal of the enterprise. It not only covers the strategic actions and programs, but also take into consideration the environmental changes and alternatives. And it assumes the responsibility of evaluating the programs from time to time to see that the management objectives are fulfilled. Then let us discuss what is strategic choice. What do you mean by choice? It's a decision. A choice is a decision. That is, strategic choice is the decision to select from among the grand strategies considered the strategy which will best meet the enterprise objectives. And the decision involves focusing on a few alternatives, considering the selection factors, evaluating the alternatives against these criteria, and making the actual choice. So, making a strategic choice means selecting from among various alternatives. Then let us discuss the process of strategic choice. The process of strategic choice is a decision-making process. Decision making means it consists of setting objectives, generating alternatives, choosing one or more alternatives, evaluating the alternatives, and finally implementing the chosen alternative. So the strategic decision making process consists of 4 steps. Firstly, focusing on alternatives. In this first step, various strategic alternatives are identified, and out of which one is to be chosen. Identifying all the alternatives is not possible, so it is better to identify only the relevant alternatives. For example, it is practically impossible to determine all the available alternatives for acquisition because there would be thousands of them. Instead, we can choose or select only feasible alternatives, such as budget, area to be chosen, etc. Then, in the strategic decision making process, the second step is evaluation of strategic alternatives. After identifying various alternatives, evaluation is to be done. Evaluation means studying the negative and positive aspects of each of these alternatives in the light of present environment within and outside the organization. And for this purpose, SWOT analysis is commonly carried out. SWOT analysis means strength, weakness, opportunities and threat analysis. Okay. Similarly, there is PIMS strategy. PIMS means profit impact of market strategy. And these two strategies or analysis are used to evaluate the extent to which market share of a particular product should be increased. SWOT analysis and PIMS analysis. PIMS analysis is done to evaluate the extent to which market share of a particular product should be increased. And thirdly, consideration of decision factors. In this process, considering the decision factors. Decision factors are those which affect the decision making the most. In fact, they are the criteria that has to be taken into consideration before deciding over a particular course of action. For example, budget is one of the deciding factor. Thus, in strategic choice process, consideration of decision factors is very important because a decision would more or less depend on this. And a decision factor may be objective or subjective. The objective decision factors include environmental and organizational factors, while the subjective decision factors may include personal factors of a manager, owner, organization's past strategies and their failures or success, etc. And the last step in the strategic choice process is choice of a strategy. In this step, the choice of a strategy is made and implemented by the organization. And so, the contingency strategies may also be chosen. Contingency strategies means those which are used as a standby arrangement which can be used in case of sudden changes in the existing internal and external environment. So, based on the above steps, a decision maker have to take a correct strategy. And on the basis of the above, it can be concluded that making a strategic choice is selecting from among the alternatives the bestest possible strategy. And it involves 4 steps such as focusing on alternatives, which mean identification of the strategies, then evaluation of strategic alternatives, consideration of decision factors and choice of a strategy. Okay, we will continue in the next session. Thank you.